So, good afternoon, boys and girls. I hope you're all well. It's Grandpa Chris here. Just thought I'd give you a quick update as to how things went with my surgery. It's 2 weeks to the day since I went in, and everything seems to have gone very, very well. It was quite a complicated procedure. I went in expecting about an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours. In reality, I was actually on the table for just under the 4 hours. They found quite a lot of damage in there that they weren't really anticipating. Apparently I lost quite a lot of blood, so they had to take care of all of that. They fitted the new titanium shoulder unit, and mercifully they've been able to reattach a lot of the tissue which they thought was unrecoverable. So the plans to graft in some donor tissue into the front of my shoulder and across the top of my shoulder didn't actually need to do that, because they've been able to reattach all of that. They've been able to reattach my bicep as well, which was great news, because I thought there was going to be an issue with that. So all in all, I'm feeling absolutely brilliant. The nursing staff in the hospital were just incredible. The efficiency, the pre-planning and everything that I witnessed there was just awesome. I got to the hospital just for 7 o'clock in the morning. I was first in the queue at the desk. Lucy, the senior nurse, said, "Right, Leanne, you're taking Chris to bed number 3. And this is the troublemaker that I told you about. So look after him for me." And she said that with a big smile on her face. So we all started the day with a laugh and got through to the bed. I was given one of the hospital gowns, you know, the ones that you tie up at the back, and no matter what the time of year is, you always get a cold draft right up the crack of your arse. Given some real wonderful designer paper knickers to wear, the elastic socks, and a hat. I hadn't even started putting the gown on when the anaesthetist turned up and started asking questions. So there's me sitting on the bed with just my boxers on. Then the nurse comes in, starts doing my blood pressures, and she half empties my left arm. I think it was about 6 vials of blood that she took out. And this and that and that and this, and we were all laughing about it. And then somebody else turned up, and the nurse finally managed to tie the gown for me. As she's doing that, the girl from the kitchen came up. "What sandwich would I like to have when I come back from the surgery?" And then the registrar turned up. I mean, it was just a procession of people coming to say hello. It was just completely and utterly whistle stop for the first 45 minutes. And then as they've all left, the charge nurse, Leanne, came back and she said, "Right, you can breathe now, Chris, that's it. You're first on the list. We'll be back for you in about 45 minutes. And the next thing I was aware of was this nurse standing beside my bed. "Go on, Chris, go and have a wee. We're taking you down." So I went to the loo, came back, and there were 2 porters there. The nurse was there. The records were on the end of my bed. I just had enough time to send a text message to my wife to say that I'll see you when I'm done. Went in expecting roughly the 2-hour mark, and came out 4 hours later, back onto the ward after about 5.5 hours. Feeling absolutely great. That chicken and mayonnaise sandwich tasted really nice. So yeah, I had a nerve block put in my neck just before I went into the actual theatre itself. That stayed with me for just under 2 days before just suddenly dropping off the face of the earth, and that's when the pain hit. So they dosed me up with all sorts of wonderful falling down and sleeping over type medicines, and I had my first night's sleep in about 3 weeks. Stayed in for 3 days. The extra day was because I'd lost quite a lot of blood during the surgery and my numbers were quite low, so they just wanted to make sure that I was going to be okay. And I came home on I think it was the Friday morning, And just in this last 2 weeks I'm already feeling so much better. I'm starting to get a little bit of movement in my shoulder's certainly pain free. Where I'm getting the pain is in the muscles in my shoulder. When my daughter changed the dressing last Tuesday, we counted something around about the 70 sutures and steri-strips along the 9 inches of the wound, and it looked nice and clean. They'd done an absolutely fabulous job. I've got another 4 weeks of complete immobilization. That's the webbing that they put on me. I'm only actually allowed to move my arm using my other hand, what's known as passive assistance. I'm not allowed to fire up any of the muscles in my arm or my shoulder because of the number of anchor points and sutures that are actually in my shoulder. So physio starts on Tuesday coming. I see the surgeon Thursday. All the stitches will come out, and I'll get a full breakdown of what's been done. See the physio on Tuesday, and that's when the real hard work starts. So yeah, I feel very blessed at having had this surgery. Just before I went in, the surgeon said to me, I suddenly noticed him standing by the door, and he says, "Well, we finally got you here, Chris. After all that you've been through, after all the delays and all of the postponements and cancellations and basically muck-ups," he said, "we finally got you here, and we're going to make sure everything goes okay." And he just gave me that sense of reassurance and the feeling of great confidence. And throughout my stay there, the nurses and the doctors and everybody associated with my care were just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And I made some good friends whilst I was on the ward. It was the Maple ward at Newham Gateway Surgical Centre, and I'm going to pop down to see them on Thursday when I'm down for my checkup, take them a nice box of biscuits and maybe have a bit of a hug. So that's it as it is so far, boys and girls. I'm really starting to look forward now. Because of the extra work they've had to do, it's put the projected recovery back by about 3 weeks. So I'm now setting a target date for the 1st of September to cast a line. I've had so many offers from people to come and pick me up and take me so that I don't have to worry about the driving. One guy I'd like to give really special mention to is Mark Osborne. He has been immensely supportive. We've had some phone conversations, even this morning when we was on Messenger. He's the same vintage as myself. Got a couple of grandchildren, one on the way, and my goodness me, he is a gentleman. And Mark, I thank you for your support. Andy and Joe, you've been amazing. I could go through the whole list, but I don't think it would be right really to single out other than Mark and Andy and Joe, because they've been immensely supportive to me, and I thank you for that. So I'm going to carry on my little stroll. I've come back out onto the Wanstead Flats amidst all of the birds and the squirrels. I'm just looking over to my right. I'm seeing some newspaper dumped on the floor. That's disappointing. I think I might pick that up and put that in the bin on the way out. So boys and girls, thank you indeed for watching. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your prayers. And I'll let you know how things go. So until then, tight lines. Thank you once again. God bless you all.